Alright guys, so in this video I'm going to be talking about the exact blueprint that me and my students use to get to $23,000 a month with their lead generation agencies in under 90 days. Alright, so first things first, what is lead gen, right? Lead generation is essentially capturing the attention of people who we want to sell our product or service to. But not all leads are the same. And what I mean by that is there's actually 3 different types of leads. 1 are cold leads, 2 are warm leads, and 3 are hot leads. Now, number 1, cold leads are leads which don't know you exist. They're ice cold, but you know that you want to reach out to them and you want to talk to them. You know that those are in your ICP and in your target market, and you want them to be interested in your product or service, but they don't know that you exist yet. And then number 2, we have warm leads. Those are actually a step further down the funnel. And by that, I mean those are leads that they know you exist now and they're actually a bit interested in what you have to sell. So for example, if I have a cold lead or a lead that doesn't know I exist and I send them an email and say something like, hey John, like we're doing lead generation for businesses, like would you be open to learning more information about this? Or something like that, some sort of message, right? And then they respond saying, hey, yeah, I'm interested, can you send over some more information? That lead has now become a warm lead. And then third on the list, we have something called hot leads. So hot leads are basically leads that are ready to buy, and they're basically very highly engaged in your funnel, and they're really close to pulling the trigger on your product or service. Alright, so you're probably thinking, FaZe, like this is all cool and stuff, but how do I even get these leads? How do I get cold leads? How do I turn a cold lead into a warm lead? How do I turn a warm lead into a hot lead? And that's exactly what I'm going to talk about, all right? Now, there's plenty of different ways to do lead generation, but the ones that I'm going to be talking about with you on this video are the ones that are really beginner friendly, because I don't really want to get into the really complex ones. I think that they're for later down the line. Let's figure out the foundations first and figure out the easiest ones that are going to get you that first client, and then we'll kind of go from there. So the first one that I want to talk about is social media. Now, social media is basically like posting content on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn, and that sort of stuff. Now, this is really good for building your brand and getting brand awareness, but there is a downside. Everyone's doing it. There's so much content out there, so it's really easy to get lost in the sauce. Like everyone's just going to be scrolling past each other's stuff, so it's really hard to stand out. Now, next we have our website. Now, your website has to be super strong because all of your traffic is going to be going to it. All your cold emails, paid ads, content, even referrals. If someone recommends you to someone, they're going to look up your website. So it's very important that this is strong. Now listen guys, I know I talked a little bit about having social proof on your website and how important that is, and it really is important, but if you're at the point where you don't have any social proof yet because you're just starting out, I actually have a full video on how you can sign your first client with no past experience, no case studies, or no testimonials. I'll link in the description below for you guys. Now next, let's talk about paid ads. Now basically what paid ads are is you put in a specific ICP or target market and it shows those ads to those types of people. But there is a catch here. They don't convert extremely well, but they can if you pump a lot of money into them. So for beginners, I would recommend to kind of stay away from paid ads if you don't have a lot of capital saved up. I would rather stick to something that's more efficient, cheaper, and has way more leverage. And that brings us to my absolute favorite lead generation channel, cold email. What I mean by that is you could spend like $100 to set up like 20 domains, 30 inboxes, and send like 1,000 emails a day within like 2 weeks. But with something like paid ads, to be able to show your ad to 1,000 people every single day, you're gonna probably have to spend more than $100 a day, right? So there's a big difference between that. All right, guys, so that's enough explanation about lead generation. I want to kind of transition into something that's super important, and that if you don't get this right, it doesn't matter what lead generation channel you use because you're not going to get results anyway. And that's creating offers. Now, here's a few things that you definitely want to keep in mind when you're putting together a banger offer. Number 1 is addressing the pain points. Number 2 is risk reversal. And number 3 is having clear call to actions. So for number 1, the pain points are the most important part of the whole offer because that's what's going to resonate with the prospects. You want to figure out what is going wrong in your prospect's day-to-day life and what they are willing to spend a lot of money to fix, and then you're going to package that into an offer and sell it to the prospect. All right, guys, so I'm actually about to give you some secret sauce right now. This is the exact offer that I've run for my agency, Outbound Gen, and it's helped me close over $100,000 worth of deals just this year alone. You guys can copy and paste this and use it for yourselves. I'll say something like, we're helping businesses who are struggling to keep their pipeline full generate 10 to 15 more qualified sales calls every month through email in 90 days, or we refund you 100%. This offer's actually been smashing it for my agency because it completely hammers down those first 2 points I just talked about. Pain points and risk reversal. They're gonna get their money back if I don't get them. Like, think about that for a second. if you were to get an email for something that says, hey, listen, I will get you this X result that you really want, and if after 3 months I try really hard for you and we don't get it, I'll refund you. You're hopping on a call with that person. It's just happening. It's not close. Like, you just are. And that perfectly segues into my next thing I wanted to talk about, which was risk reversal, right? So as you could see, I'm saying that refund clause, that is reversing the risk, right? So essentially what that is it's taking all of the risk off of the plate of the client and putting it on me. What this does is it makes the offer so much more enticing. All right, guys, so that concludes today's video. Now, if this is something that you want to build and actually master, I have a free webinar where I talk about how I built and scaled my lead gen agency to $23,000 a month in under 90 days. I'll link it in the description below. Basically, on this webinar, I'm going through the exact step-by-step roadmap and the exact steps I took to build and scale my agency. Super excited for that, and I hope you guys get some value out of that, so check it out. You've just finished your lead generation tutorial for beginners, guys. Congratulations, and give yourself a pat on the back.